Before we do anything else today, let's do a very simple testosterone habit check. In the next 30 seconds, you're going to get a quick snapshot of whether your daily routine may be quietly dragging your testosterone in the wrong direction right now. No blood test, no calorie counting, no complicated science, just honest answers. If you are over 60 and you've noticed lower energy, less drive, weaker strength, more belly fat, poorer sleep, or less interest in sex than you used to have, this matters more than many men realize. Because in a lot of older men, testosterone does not just drift downward because of time, it also gets pushed downward by routine. I'm Dr. James Whitaker, and here is how this works. You are starting with a perfect score of 5 points. I'm going to give you 5 foods and habits that commonly work against testosterone health. For each one that sounds like you, subtract 1 point. At the end, you'll know whether your body may be dealing with more daily hormonal pressure than you realized. And stay with me until the end, because the number one habit that secretly crushes testosterone after 60 is also one of the most normalized. Let's begin. You start with 5 points. Number 1. Do you regularly sleep poorly, sleep too little, or snore heavily without treating the problem? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 2. Do you carry extra belly fat and spend long stretches of the day sitting without much movement? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 3. Do you eat a routine built around processed snacks, sugary foods, takeout, or low-quality meals more often than you'd like to admit? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 4. Do you drink alcohol often enough that it has become part of your normal evening routine, especially when energy, sleep, and libido are already slipping? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 5. Have you been telling yourself that low energy, lower sex drive, and loss of strength are just aging, instead of looking at how your habits may be contributing to the problem? If yes, subtract your final point. Now look at your number. If you scored 5, that's a strong place to start. Your routine may already be helping you protect better hormone health after 60. If you scored 3 or 4, your body may be showing early signs that your habits are putting steady pressure on your testosterone and vitality. This is the point where small changes can matter a lot. If you scored 2 or lower, don't panic and don't feel embarrassed. Most men are never taught how strongly sleep, body fat, food quality, alcohol, and inactivity can affect the same hormonal system at the same time. But once you see the pattern, you can begin changing the pattern. Go ahead and write your score in the comments. I'd also like to know your age, where you're watching from, and which issue bothers you most right now. Is it low energy, belly fat, low libido, weaker strength, or poor sleep? Save your score, because we're coming back to it. Now let me give you 1 minute of simple science. Testosterone is not just about sex drive. It helps support muscle mass, bone health, fat distribution, mood, energy, and sexual function. But testosterone does not live in isolation. It is influenced by your brain, your sleep, your body composition, your overall health, and the stress you place on your system. The Endocrine Society notes that low testosterone is more common in older men, men with obesity, and men with type 2 diabetes, and that sleep disorders, chronic disease, medications, and weight issues can all contribute to the problem. Mayo Clinic also notes that obesity, untreated obstructive sleep apnea, certain medications, poor nutrition, and aging can all be linked to hypogonadism or low testosterone patterns in men. Cleveland Clinic adds that lifestyle habits that help keep testosterone healthier include maintaining a healthy weight, eating healthy foods, being physically active, sleeping about 7 hours a night, and treating sleep apnea if you have it. So now let's count down the 3 biggest foods and habits that quietly crush testosterone after 60. We're going from number 3 to number 1, and number 1 is the one older men excuse the longest. Number 3 is the sleep and alcohol trap. This one catches a lot of men because it often feels normal. A poor night of sleep here, a couple of drinks there, late night television, waking tired, repeating the cycle again the next night. Men get used to living under-rested and under-recovered, then wonder why drive, libido, focus, and strength seem to keep fading. Here is the reset. Start paying attention to your sleep as if it is part of your hormone health, because it is. If you are sleeping too little, waking unrefreshed, or snoring heavily, that matters. If your evening routine includes regular alcohol use that worsens sleep quality, that matters too. Cleveland Clinic lists sleep, sleep apnea, obesity, and heavy use of addictive substances among the factors connected to low testosterone risk or poor hormonal health patterns. What should you notice? Men who improve sleep often report that the first changes are not dramatic, but they may feel less foggy, slightly steadier, less flat, and less exhausted by the day. Why does this help? Because poor sleep and untreated sleep apnea can pull the entire system downward, and alcohol often makes men think they are relaxing when they are really disrupting recovery. The most common mistake is assuming sleep only matters for tiredness. It does not. It influences the whole hormonal environment. If you need an easier version, start with one question. Do I wake up restored, or do I wake up already behind? That one answer tells many older men more than they expect. Number 2 is the processed food and belly fat cycle. This is one of the biggest hidden problems in older men. A lot of men do not eat terribly at every meal, but they live inside a pattern. Too many processed snacks, too many convenience foods, too much sugar, too much late eating, too little protein, too little nutrient-dense food. Then, little by little, belly fat rises, muscle falls, and the whole system becomes less responsive. Here is the reset. Do not think in terms of one bad food. Think in terms of the pattern your body is living inside. Are most of your calories helping you preserve muscle, maintain a healthier weight, and recover well? Or are they feeding softness, fatigue, and unstable energy? What should you notice? When food quality improves, many men first notice steadier energy and less crashing. Then, over time, they may notice that body composition becomes easier to manage. Why does this help? Because obesity is strongly linked to low testosterone patterns, and some cases improve when the weight problem is addressed rather than ignored. The Endocrine Society specifically notes that obesity can be a reversible cause in some men and should be addressed before jumping straight to testosterone treatment. The most common mistake is thinking testosterone is mainly lost in the gym or gained in the clinic, when in reality a lot of it is influenced by the metabolic environment you create every day. If you need an easier version, start by removing the most obvious daily trap. That may be constant snacking, sugary drinks, late-night junk food, or eating almost no real protein during the day. Start with the pattern that is clearly hurting you the most. And before we move to number 1, if this video is helping you think more clearly about hormone health after 60, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to American Urologist. It helps me reach more older men who may be blaming age alone for problems that are actually being reinforced by routine. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments which habit you think men underestimate the most: poor sleep, alcohol, processed food, or sitting too much. Now let's get to number 1. Number 1 is the habit of living physically smaller every year and calling it normal. This is the biggest one. A lot of men after 60 do not stop moving all at once. They just move a little less each year. A little less walking, a little less lifting, a little less effort, a little more sitting, a little more stiffness, a little more belly fat, a little less muscle. Then eventually they wake up in a body that feels older than their age, and they blame hormones alone. Here is what I want you to hear clearly. Inactivity does not just affect strength. It affects body composition, insulin sensitivity, recovery, sleep quality, confidence, and the entire biological environment around testosterone. Cleveland Clinic specifically points to physical activity, healthy weight, and better sleep as key lifestyle habits that may help keep testosterone levels in a healthier range. What should you notice if this is your hidden problem? Often the first clue is not only weaker muscles, it is lower resilience, less capacity, less endurance, less confidence in your own body. That whole picture matters. Why does this help? Because movement is one of the strongest ways men fight back against the downward spiral of belly fat, weakness, poor recovery, and lower vitality. The most common mistake is waiting until you feel more energetic before you start moving again. In many men, movement is part of what helps restore better energy. It does not always come after. If you need an easier version, stop thinking in workouts and start thinking in daily non-negotiables. Walk every day, stand more often, use your muscles on purpose. Give your body repeated evidence that it still has a reason to stay metabolically alive. Now let me give you 3 daily boosters that can support healthier testosterone patterns after 60. First, anchor your first meal and your last meal with better quality. More real food, more protein, less ultra-processed drift. Second, treat heavy snoring and broken sleep like a health issue, not a personality trait. Mayo Clinic notes that untreated obstructive sleep apnea can contribute to hypogonadism and may improve when sleep apnea is treated. Third, stop separating testosterone from the rest of your lifestyle. It is not just a number, it reflects how your body is living. Now let's close the loop. Think back to your opening score. If you scored low today, don't just shrug that off. Recheck yourself in 2 weeks. Look at your sleep, your movement, your belly, your food pattern, and your daily energy. Are they improving? Are they drifting? Are they still telling the same story? That trend matters. Today, we talked about 5 foods and habits that secretly crush testosterone after 60. We looked at poor sleep and alcohol, processed food patterns and belly fat, and the habit of moving less each year while calling it normal. We also covered 3 practical shifts older men can make to support a better hormonal environment without chasing hype or pretending one pill solves everything. This is not about perfection, it is about pattern. A lot of men think testosterone disappears mysteriously, but in many cases the body has been signaling the problem through sleep, weight, movement, and energy long before the lab work ever gets discussed. If this video helped you, share it with another man over 60 who has been feeling older, softer, and less driven, but may not realize how much of that pattern is being shaped by routine. And if you want to keep going, watch the next video on your screen, where I'll show you how men over 50 can start reversing age-related muscle loss naturally. I'm Dr. James Whitaker. Stay informed, stay steady, and I'll see you in the next one.